We saw a movie.
Yeah, hell yeah, we did.
Shout out to Mitch, who I saw at my screening of.
Mitch the Bitch, you called him?
I didn't call him that.
No, you did.
I called him regular nice man Mitch.
Interesting.
To his face.
Whoa.
And also that behind his back.
Whoa.
It was very nice. The screening, of course, was Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Now, Mason, on a budget of $160 million. Box office.
I'm listening.
Box office return for this seems to be, for the US opening weekend, between 52 to 55 million, another 70 million internationally on top of that. This is good for a Planet of the Apes movie. It's not at the peak of like Dawn, but it's on the upper end of the newer stuff. This is, at this point, time of recording, a great opening weekend.
Absolutely.
Unlike The Fall Guy, which had a poor opening weekend and looks to be dropping off.
I got some theories, James.
On The Fall Guy?
Well, just here's the thought, because you know how we were always talking about, all the standard stuff. You know, everything's expensive to go out to.
Certain people shouldn't be living together.
Exactly. We have those thoughts. There's so much stuff out there.
Yep.
This is a thought I had.
Is a hot dog a sandwich? These are all conversations we have.
Then it's not.
No?
It's not.
It's a conversation
different thing. No, it's a conversation we've had. That's true. I wonder if it's also because back in the olden times, you'd go to a movie on the weekend, and then on Monday you'd go to work or school or whatever it was, and you would say, did you see that movie on the weekend? And everyone would go, yes.
Yep.
And then you could have a chat about the movie.
Exactly.
But these days, you go back to work or school on the Monday, and you go, someone says, what did you do? And you go, I saw The Fall Guy. And they go, what's that? And you go, it's a movie. And they go, is it on Netflix? And you go, no, it was at the movies. And they go, what did you think? And you went, it was pretty good. And then you say, what did you do? And they go, I saw a thing on Netflix.
Yep.
And you say, was it good? And they go, it was all right. And then you just go your separate ways. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering if it's because...
Well, these are two extraordinarily boring people.
That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, like, because everything's so scattergun now, you don't know...
What's the thing?
And maybe you think to yourself, and because people...
every now and then you get a Barbie or a Game of Thrones.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like Barbie and Oppenheimer, everybody went to Barbie and Oppenheimer because everybody knew everybody was going to Barbie and Oppenheimer. And when you went back to your place of whatever...
Worship.
When you went to your place of worship on the Monday, because that's when your wacky religion celebrates. It's on Mondays.
Yep.
You would know that people would watch one of those movies and you're going to talk to them about it. But in this, you don't know... And maybe there's people out there in addition to all the other stuff and everything being too expensive. You're like, well, I could go and see The Fall Guy.
I mean, I already missed it, and it's be on streaming in a month, probably.
Well, exactly. But I would love to talk to somebody about the movies that I watch, but who knows if they're going to be watching it also. No, is the
You're saying
answer.
people are looking for human connection and conversation.
Yes.
But instead they're having ships in the night, boring conversations about different movies on different platforms.
Exactly.
Well, that's not the terrible theory, I feel.
It's a good theory.
That's why I thought of it.
Maybe the most accurate. Wait a second. Wait a second. You did write these notes that I found at the base of my bed this morning.
That's right.
This is your handwriting.
Yeah, man, it is. And I think it takes like a brand or like a movement or event or something like that to
some
break
hype
through.
to build it up. Yeah,
yep, I don't disagree. Content glut.
Content glut.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's the same thing of like.
Yeah.
There is so much out there, but it's like, how do you
and some people
get
like
people to focus on the thing every week,
People are like, I don't know, I rewatched fucking Dark Angel on the weekend.
The TV series Dark Angel.
That's what people rewatch.
The Jessica Alba TV series Dark Angel.
That's right.
Where it's the future and she's a genetically engineered superwoman or something.
Mason.
Huh.
What else did you think I was talking about?
I think there's also a movie called Dark Angel. There must be. Yeah.
I hope they're linked.
See, these people as well, they were trying to make a connection. They're like, well, let's watch Dark Angel over the weekend. And then on Monday, one person's watched 6 seasons of this Jessica Alba TV series or whatever, and the other person's watched the Dolph Lundgren movie from 1992 or whatever it is.
God, what a nightmare.
And they don't
This is going to happen with the Search for Gollum. Did you go and see Search for Gollum? No, I watched it on YouTube. It went for 39 minutes.
Best 39 minutes of my life. Oh, well, I watched this for 4 hours. I watched this bloated monstrosity where the special effects were worse than in Lord of the Rings, which came out 2 decades ago. I don't understand. Why was it so dim? Why was everything grey?
Why was it dim and grey?
Why was everybody just in a medium shot talking to each other across a table?
Yeah, these are all great questions.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyways, what do you think the story was?
Oh, come on, mate.
In regards to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Dark Angel was a 1990 film starring Dolph Lundgren.
Wow, that's really good. I mean, you did say 1992.
I was close.
That's a pass.
That is a pass.
But it's not. You're not getting an A for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I would get an A for that. That's easily a 90%.
No, it's not.
It is, I think.
Anyway, go on.
Anyway, so remember the previous Planet of the Apes movies?
Yep.
Well, it's that, but it's even more further in the future. Generations into the future.
300 years in the future.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's right.
Do we know that for sure?
Yeah, they've said that outside of the films.
Oh,
Yeah.
okey-dokey.
So I don't know how long an ape lives for. 300 years. So what's that? I don't know. They live as long as people? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Somebody should have said it in the movie.
Do you think they're getting smarter? Or are they staying about the same?
Oh, I think they're staying about the same.
Yeah, because I think they're looking for access to new information and that will give them the leg up.
Although they can all talk now.
That's true.
Or at least the tribe we're talking about. So in this future, there's a tribe of apes.
Yep, they're Eggmen.
They're Eggmen. They raise and train eagles.
Yep.
To
God, that must have been a hard first 20 or so years.
Absolutely.
Trying to get this down pat.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's like there's three we open on three young apes, Noah
Yapes.
and
Noah's two mates.
Suna,
Yeah.
and Anaya, and they're young apes, and they got to do a little ceremony where they go and steal an egg.
Yes.
And then they get bonded to the egg, and then the egg hatches into a bird, and they raise it, and then they got their own eagle.
And they go, cool.
That's right.
That's pretty awesome, getting an egg.
And in this future, humans they call humans echoes, and they're just like kind of
remnants of the past.
yeah, wandering packs of like non-verbal kind of
grubs.
Yeah, they're just grubs. They're scavengers.
Yeah.
They're dirty.
Yep.
Yuck.
They're always standing
Yuck.
in water, but they're dirty.
That's right. How are they managing that?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Put some water on yourself.
Put some water on yourself.
I guess they would have very clean like calves.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You'd hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
But then
Mm.
someone shows up
Yeah.
and's like, let's have an... How much were you spoiling here?
Anyway,
Anyway,
there's
things
an
happen
adventure. It's
and
going to be an
whatever.
adventure. This is a real call.
Rival
Yeah.
tribes, there's a human running about, and
That's
does this
right. If
human
you've
know
seen the
more than
trailer,
you think, etc.
that's exactly right.
Yeah, I would say if you haven't seen any of the trailers, stick to the first one.
Yeah.
Because apparently the other two like spoil where the human is from and
Really?
all of this, yeah. Or heavily imply.
Well,
so I didn't
well.
see any of that.
No, neither did I. Yeah, this is a real call to adventure. This is Noah's movie.
Yes.
He
It's his arc, if you will. That's my joke. That's my joke.
You didn't even realize this, but there's actually a story from the Bible called Noah's Ark.
Yeah?
You've just randomly mashed together two words and thought that you've made a joke there because I guess you thought the words sounded funny together, but actually there's a story in the Bible called Noah's Ark. It's about a guy who builds an
What's
ark.
his story? What's his arc?
It's like this.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty much the
Is
same.
it Eggman?
He's a bit of an eggman, yeah. He's collecting two of every egg.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah. Well, I think what we can reveal, I think, is that there's a rival tribe of apes, and they arrive and
they're building kingdoms of
they're
disparate
there's
ape communities.
exactly, and
Yeah.
they come into this ape tribe camp and they steal everybody away, and Noah's alone and he has to get on a horse and find where they've gone and get their revenge, get his revenge. And how's he going to do that? Maybe he's going to meet some people on the way.
Maybe he is.
He's going to meet a friendly orangutan.
I really enjoyed this.
Me too.
Yeah. I had a good time with it. I think it feels for an opening movie, it feels like Rise was. It's kind of less like a self-contained story.
Mm-hmm.
This is very much you don't have all the information.
Yes.
And this, and this is going to be kind of touched on in the next 2 or 3 movies or whatever.
That's right.
Whereas Rise, I feel like in itself was built as the next movie is Planet of the Apes 1968. It could be.
Depending on how well this does, we could just say the next movie is Planet of the Apes from the 60s, or we could keep moving.
Yeah.
But this
is next.
The plan now is potentially 5 more movies?
Yeah, so there's a 9 in total, and then beyond that.
Yeah, right.
The reason that this happened was because they were initially maybe thinking of continuing like right after Caesar's story, which is touched on a little bit in this. But then Disney bought 20th Century Fox in 2020 or whenever it was, and they restarted the whole thing. And the director of this, Wes Ball, who did the Scorch Trial.
Yeah, he's
movies,
only done,
etc.
prior to this, he's only done the Maze Runner movies.
But what he was working on was Mouse Guard. So they got well into Mouse Guard, which I haven't read, but apparently it's an incredible comic, and I plan to read it. And that used a lot of mocap and like photorealistic like environments and all of that. And he worked on that with Matt Reeves, who directed 2 of the previous trilogy. So I think Disney went, they saw his work and went, well, let's
Yeah.
put him on him. And Matt Reeves also, let's put him on these Apes movies.
Yeah, so this is the first one without, of the new versions, it's the first one without Andy Serkis in any capacity.
Mm-hmm. There's some capacity early on. Yeah. But no, he's not. He doesn't mocap anything. He doesn't voice anybody. As far as we know, maybe they snuck him in, somewhere. Maybe he did a day on set.
Maybe he did a day on set. But I think the new cast is really good. Owen Teague. That's a name I recognize.
He's the bully in It.
Yes, he is. That's true. Yeah,
I had to look that up. I couldn't for the life of me.
He's in It, and in It Chapter 2, he's in that episode of Black Mirror, Archangel, which is the one. It's the Jodie Foster one. It's the one where
he's in that. Okay,
he's the one where
he's the bad boy.
Yeah, the woman is too protective over her
She
daughter.
put an iPad in her kid's brain.
Put an iPad in the brain. Yeah, iPad in the brain.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's great. I think really good performance.
And obviously, there's a digital chimpanzee on top of
that's so
performance.
true. Yeah,
but they are also going to release we've talked about this, a no special effects version of this.
They say that a lot, though.
I think they're going to do it.
They might do it this time.
Going to do it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think also it was smart to do this time jump. I think it gives us you get a complete clean break from everything before, and there are remnants of it because Caesar has become even more of this mythic, like Moses-like figure, which they built towards in the previous movie.
Yeah.
But I liked seeing this world like cities and structures, and how everything is kind of coming together 300 years.
They built a real Donkey Kong country.
They really did. It looks like a Donkey Kong country, multiple levels.
That's right.
Yeah, which I quite enjoy.
His dad is Cranky Kong.
Boy, was he.
Also, we got Lydia Peckham, who doesn't have a Wikipedia page, as Suna, so she's quite new, seemingly. We got Eka Darville is in this. Eka Darville is Jessica Jones's friend in Jessica Jones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did not know that. Okay, cool. All right.
Australia's own.
Well, this was filmed in Sydney.
There you go.
They used that tunnel. If anyone's seen Mr. In Between, which I highly recommend, that tunnel's in it. This is an Australian-ass looking movie. This is so Australian. There's so many gum trees in this, Mason. Took me right out of it. What is this supposed to be, Australia?
Yeah.
How could it be even?
That's right.
But it's so Australian.
Maybe in future installments we'll get to look at what the apes are up to in other countries.
Yes.
Because thus far it's just been the United States.
I mean, because as we sort of know from the previous movie, and we're looking at war this week for Caravan of Garbage, the virus that infects people also infects apes. So it has infected apes the world over.
That's right.
So they're growing intelligent, but they're growing intelligent independently of each other.
That's right, yeah.
So only it would be like the Americas, I guess, where you would have this influence of Caesar, whereas in other parts of the world they'd have their own version of that. And not sign language, and maybe they don't speak English and etc. You know?
Maybe they speak French.
Maybe they speak French. Yuck, Mason.
That's right.
There's also the actor who plays Raka is really good. Who's an orangutan that they come across on the journeys, and he's a true believer in Caesar because there's the main villain, I guess, is a guy called Proxima Caesar, who's played by Kevin
Durant,
he's really good. He's amazing in this,
and he's kind of he has taken the teaching of Caesar and sort of twisted it, but he doesn't say it outright, but the implication is he's embodying Caesar, like the spirit of Caesar, and he's building his own kingdom, and everybody, he's gathering up all the apes so he can.
But he didn't even see those movies. I did, and he's doing it wrong.
That's exactly
Caesar
right.
wouldn't have done it like that.
That's right.
I know. So yeah, loved all of that.
Guess what Kevin Durant's been in?
What?
Dark Angel.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
That's right. Yeah.
He's also the Blob.
He is the Blob. That's true. Yeah.
In a bad X-Men movie and whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to do some spoilers, I think.
Okay. Well, look. Special effects are flawless.
Amazing.
As you might imagine.
Good looking eagles.
Yeah. Lot of fun. How the plot mostly makes sense. Mostly hangs together. I think
there's some information I would have liked to have gotten, which we're going to get in future movies about certain human characters.
When we get to the third act, I think we'll have some stuff to say about some reveals.
Yeah.
But I generally speaking, I think it works all well together.
I think I was expecting like a bigger twist around the human character.
Yeah, right.
I didn't think it was like the astronaut situation. So I think we're not there yet. We're still like a fair way off that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was interesting. But anyway, spoilers.
Okay. Best movie ever.
I really enjoyed it. It's long, but it didn't. I think it takes the time for you to get to know the characters in a way that works.
That's
and
right.
they're endearing and
Yeah.
stakes, and when
Yeah,
things happen to them, you care and all
yeah.
of that, which I appreciated. Yeah. Oh yeah. So there's a guy called Raka who's he's an orangutan they come across who he's doing the real teachings of Caesar.
That's
and
right, yeah.
Apes together strong and ape doesn't kill ape and all of that.
yeah.
And they're more. Oh, how do you feel about this? We can talk about this. They're more talky in this.
They are,
but
yeah.
there is the kind of there's like a breathiness to the way that they talk where it's not complete. There's not a complete kind of flow to it yet. It's still a bit kind of like in between, which I like. I think that's a good kind of step towards.
Yeah.
Where we get to original Planet of the Apes and they're just like, hello everybody. I'm an ape. I talk like this. Yeah. Best movie ever.
Best movie ever. All right, it's big time spoiler time, folks.
Yeah,
We're going to do some big spoilers. Big spoiler time.
Let's go.
So along the way, Noah runs into a woman, and you're like, she's slightly different from the others.
She's wearing pants.
She's got some pair of jeans on.
Yeah.
Nice pair of...
Is this an astronaut in jeans?
That's right.
No.
She's got NASA-issued jeans on.
I thought they were going to do she got out of a pod or something.
Oh, right.
Like she was in a cryo experiment or something. But it's not that.
No, and so he's very surprised
and
to
also
learn
I'm
that
glad
she can talk.
that's not that.
Yeah. She can talk, and initially you're like, oh, is it just a few words? No, she can talk. And she claims
she talks American English.
That's right. She claims she's from maybe a village from some distance away, and she needs to get back there.
Yeah.
And everyone in her family died. And she needs the apes' help to get back. But actually, we learn that this new Caesar, he's building a kingdom around a human-built bunker from years ago. And because he wants all the human-made treasures in there, he wants the weapons and the tanks and any other secrets that might be in there. He knows there's something good in there, and she also wants in, because there's a satcom chip in there.
Yes,
she has been sent from. Her backstory is. Well, maybe some of her backstory is true.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because at the end, when she delivers the chip back to the facility,
let her in.
They don't let her in. She might not even be from there. She might, or maybe they're not letting her in because she's contaminated now. And
I think she is. I suspect she has always had. She is a carrier of the virus that makes you dumb.
Yeah.
Bloody television, am I right? It's bloody TikTok.
Yeah. You spend too long on that. Actually, it's bad for you.
That's right. But she has no symptoms. She hasn't, so they can't let her in because they'll all get infected.
Yeah.
So I think she's always been apart from that. And but
I wonder whether it's a thing where like they have something over her family or something like that. It's
maybe.
Maybe
they haven't written it yet, so maybe get some ideas from us.
I think they've probably got an idea.
Yeah. So her mission is.
She looks like she has lived with them at some point though, because of what she's wearing.
Maybe they throw some jeans out at her.
They might throw some jeans out of a little trapdoor.
That's exactly right.
These don't fit me.
Stand by the jeans trapdoor.
Can I have shoes? No. The humans don't wear shoes.
Yeah, it's interesting because clearly they've got... Okay, so she's been given this mission by a bunker containing humans that have been there for hundreds of years, presumably, who have... They're hermetically sealed in.
It's a real The Show Silo Apple TV Plus situation.
Yeah, they're clearly far away enough from ape civilization that the apes haven't discovered them yet.
Yep.
And they've been in the generations of them have been in this bunker for hundreds of years. They haven't lost their ability to speak. They seem very civilized. They have all the technology, but they need some sort of satcom chip device so they can activate their satellites and see if they can communicate to the other nations around the world. So, I still like that one, but you can keep that one actually. You're gonna have that one.
Thanks.
And so her goal is to get inside this bunker, get the chip, and get out. And so she is using
and doesn't care about the ape civilization.
No, that's right.
Their outcomes.
Yeah, she initially is like, well, I'll help you get to this place, and you can help free your
I'll
family.
entertain your thoughts, William H. Macy.
That's right.
This.
Yeah. Yeah, William H. Macy, also immune.
Yep.
He's building he's been
building
captured by the apes, and he's building them little tasers out of taser spears out of old light fixtures, I think.
And bobs and
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he just is a guy from now. It seems.
Pretty much, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
I'd be interested to know like where is he even from, because it's interesting when they meet, they don't know each other.
No, that's true.
But immediately she's just like no.
Yeah, she isn't like, you've come from the settlement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, I don't trust this guy already.
That's right.
So clearly something terrible has happened. And she ends up choking him out and killing him.
That's right.
Which he deserved.
Yeah.
Because he was going to tell on them.
That's right.
He was going to tell on them.
But you touched on that earlier. Yeah, she She doesn't care about any of that stuff, and I thought that was an interesting take on this because there's no, the previous movies were all about how
Humans and apes, the main ones,
Yeah.
like they trusted each other.
That's exactly right, and how there's some people in these, some of the humans want to help the apes and want them to work together, and some people are blinded by their prejudices and afraid, and they want to do this. You know. And in this, the reveal, of course, is that she's ready to kill them all. She doesn't, there's no coming together of these species again.
No.
And it's like, well, we could finally work together. She's like, I got what I wanted, and thanks for your help, but I will shoot you if I have to.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. She didn't even really seem happy about it at the end. So I wonder, like, was she doing it for the betterment of the human race at the end, or is there like a personal stake in this?
You might be
Like,
right.
what
Maybe
is
she's
it?
got her family in the
I don't know.
or something,
I have no idea. Yeah.
Right.
Which is, again, these are things where I'm like, well, I would have liked an answer to this, but I feel like we're going to probably get that.
Well, aren't you so intrigued then?
I am.
James?
No, I am. I mean, oftentimes if you get kind of a story where there's as many kind of loose threads as there are in this, you're like, oh, fuck, all right. But I feel like there is a direction to this, and this was a strong enough movie where
It didn't feel like really heavily signposted things where like you'll pay for the next one, won't you?
Yeah, I thought that was.
Also, there's no post credits.
Apparently, there's a breathing.
There is a breathing,
ape
yeah,
or
but that's
something.
it, yeah.
But I did duck out immediately, Mason. I didn't want to hang around.
As if I'm going to recognize which ape is breathing in that moment.
You got to recognize.
Maybe it was Cobra.
You got to recognize.
Cobra's back in the news. I don't know if you saw that.
Why?
He's in all the memes.
Is he?
People are like, I wish Cobra was in every movie, and they're putting him in every movie.
Wow.
Because he's Cobra.
I love the way the internet works.
Me too.
Yeah, so with the weapon facility, so when she blows up the odd floods and etc.
Yes.
So do you think that was there part of that being that like, I'll kill this guy and free the apes, or was that just I'm escaping?
I think it's that, yes.
Yeah, because I mean they'd already set it up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I thought that maybe it was kind of both. It was a desperate kind of dash, and I mean, also his entire tribe, Noah's entire tribe, was also there.
Also there. I think in the moment she's like, well, I've got what I need, and it's for the sake of the humans, and I've got my family, presumably.
And no one's going to chase me when I do this.
Exactly.
I'm just going to go. Go and do it. But that wall of water and that, I love that whole sequence. And we're second time in a year where we get a little guy drowning a big guy underwater.
That's
Indiana
so
Jones, last one.
That's true. The ape architecture is also starting to feel way more like the original Planet of the Apes architecture.
Sure. More musical cues as well. I feel like that of the
also we're
going
to get the Simpsons style
exactly
musical. Okay, great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why don't you sing about it, Noah?
Here's a question.
Go on.
How did they know that?
I'll answer it perfectly.
How did they know they were in the facility? Because they were waiting on the other side of the door. Because I thought it was going to be the mate ape who didn't want to come with him, maybe ratted them out.
Tipped them off, okay.
But it was just, I guess he just figured it out because they weren't there.
I think it probably took, because it takes ages for those doors to open, I think he just had time to gather up. I think he was like, let's go, folks.
Yeah.
Let's go, apes.
So, I mean, they should have gone out the other way, I assume, right? But I guess the idea was to destroy it. Like Noah wanted to destroy the facility, and that was the way to do it, I guess.
Yeah, because he was like, in water destroy the facility.
Yeah. Yes. And yes. It was very alien reminiscent. I felt that abandoned facility.
Yeah.
And all of that. I think, Proxima gets pecked to death and falls off a cliff.
That's true.
Which is great. Do you think a fall into the water is that, there's two apes that fall into a water. Do you think I think they're both alive.
Yeah, I think that Caesar I think he's too good to waste on a just one movie.
He could be scarred when he comes back.
He's
and he goes, look what you did to me, etc.
Right.
I've got one eye now.
Like Cobra, he could
That's
say. Right. I've been looking at this book on the history of apes, and Cobra's in here, and I'm going to be like him now.
I can't read, but it's just pictures, and that's what I'm going to do.
That's right.
Yeah. What I do think is interesting about the advancement of the apes, that he's smart enough to know that he doesn't have all the information.
That's true.
And that if he acts as...
He's got an inquiring mind.
Yeah.
I think that's lovely.
Well, it's like us, right? If you put us 100 years ago, it's like if we were born 100 years ago, we would have that knowledge. It's not like we're not more advanced.
Yeah.
We're the same. We've been the same for thousands of years.
That's true.
So... But he knows that knowledge is power. His evolution is knowledge.
I recently on Twitter saw an old clip from the Ben Stiller show. It's Janine Garofalo as the B- time traveler. And she gets hurled back in time to various situations like, prior to D-Day or, Columbus's travels or whatever.
Yeah.
And she vaguely remembers a lot of stuff. It's people track it down. It's on YouTube.
That's what it would be. Yeah. So yeah, I think they're both coming back. I think they're both like popular enough characters. But no, I just loved. Also, I think that the Proxima, like, I mean, he's a villain, obviously, but there is this idea that
I don't know. I think he's got a lot to like about him.
Well, I think he's very charismatic.
He is. It's true.
But like he knows.
There's a moment where our human character,
William H. Macy's character,
May,
Yeah.
the lady character, fires the gun and
he loves it.
puts a round through one of his lieutenants, and he's like, "You got more of those?
Yeah.
More of those down there? I would love one of those. Thank you. I would love many of those."
Yeah, but I think he's aware of the threat of humans and how that. No, mate. He knows that there's smart ones out there, and he needs to be on top of that. You know, so it's all survival. Like everybody's doing their own version of survival. What do you think? Where is this going, though? Do you think? I don't think they're going to do astronauts or time travel anytime soon.
Oh, I really wish they would.
I mean, I don't think in this. Well, I think at the end of this trilogy, we might get a ship or something, or a hint towards it.
God, I was hoping for one. I was hoping for one at the end of.
Did you think she was going to be an astronaut?
Maybe. I mean, maybe she was an astronaut, but she was wearing jeans.
Yeah,
she wasn't wearing fancy
Sure.
NASA pants, for example, big white pants, big Michelin Man style white, big pants,
big blowout pants,
big blowout pants. No,
Yeah.
I would love to see it. Yeah, I mean, we got to tie it in eventually, and I would hate to see interest in this franchise wane before they finally connect it to the original. You know what I mean?
Hopefully. I'm just checking. What year is Planet of the Apes?
The first one, 68.
Set. Yeah, but what year is it set?
Oh.
It's in the year 3,978. I
Okay,
mean,
so
they don't
we got
have
a
to.
while to go.
They don't have to do that time.
No, that's true. Yeah.
So it's.
Yeah.
But I think if you're going to get to like that society, you'd have to jump like at least 1,000 years, right?
Oh, true,
Where they're building their own architecture. And
Okay, well then
they've got books and science and.
Well, then I would say
whatever.
they're probably not going to abandon this cast of characters.
No, I don't think
for
so.
at least 2 more movies. So
Yeah, and that's interesting.
that is
And
interesting.
then Mark Wahlberg shows up.
Yeah, that's right.
You know. Yeah,
Hey, these apes, they can talk.
We were planning on doing. I mistimed the weeks,
Oh, yeah.
but I wanted to do the Mark Wahlberg one.
Uh-huh.
But we'll do it in the next round.
Nice.
Whatever.
Nice.
So I think there'll be 2 more than a time skip. Anyway, here's some reviews, Mason.
Okay.
It's from Russell Michaels, who says #Weekly Planet Pod. Kingdom of the Apes is the best movie in this 4-movie series since Dawn. Absolutely hated Rise. Thought War was a disappointment. This one was very good. But when does Heston Astronauts show back up?
In the year 3000, we know that already. Everybody knows that.
And when do the apes start? When do the apes start wearing clothes? Best movie ever. Now these ones are from.
Well, the priest guy, Raka, he was wearing.
He's
some-
wearing a clothes.
bit of a robe situation.
Exactly.
Going on there,
Sam in the Great Mates group says, who's a top contributor.
Oh, very nice.
Non-spoilers. I can't really tell you why I didn't enjoy this movie. I recently watched the last trilogy in preparation and loved. I think a lot of it was to do with the set up. Sorry, wasn't to do with set pieces, but more to do with the story and the ending of the movie. I also sort of struggled to tell the difference with most of the apes. In the last movie, you could easily tell who Caesar was and the rest of the apes, but I found it difficult at first. If I had to rate it on the Weekly Planet scale, it would probably be best movie ever compared to the rest. I found it pretty disappointing.
Interesting.
Harry Scott says it left me wanting more, and that's incredibly rare for a blockbuster nowadays. Paul Spooner says, didn't love it. I like the ape characters. The villain was fun. Could have done with more development. I was hoping he'd be Magneto for apes, but they decided he needed to be killed off.
Ape Nito.
Ape Nito. Just could connect to the human. He said could, but I think it means couldn't connect to the human angle. Why can they speak now? And it's been 300 years for humans being cavemen. How did they learn technology and languages so quickly? I don't know. This is my biggest gripe. I think that was an independent bunker situation.
Yeah, right.
I believe. And James Harrison said, here's a longer review, but in summary, I think this is either the best one yet or at least on the same level as Dawn. Loved it. Mm-hmm. It's also got a B cinema score, which is
bad,
apparently
apparently.
low.
Yeah, that's quite low.
Yeah, but my understanding is that people seem to be liking this.
Yeah.
And it'll Furiosa's not out for 2 weeks, so this has got it might not experience too much of a drop-off.
Yeah.
Considering. And we tell all our friends about it. I've been telling people, like, what do you think of it? And I'm like, I liked it.
Go see Planet of the Apes and also go see Pool Man. Did you see this?
Oh, yeah.
I think Chris Pine is running his own social media
finally
for
out
Pool
or
Man.
something.
But it's not going to get a distributor in Australia, surely not.
No.
Unless Chris Pine comes to Australia and does some like local screenings. I would love that. We could have him on the show.
We could say, Chris Pine, come to us and talk about
But
Star Trek.
he's done a little tweet here, and it says make it a double feature. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes plus Pool Man.
Very good.
Apes plus Pool Man, do the Ape Man. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do the Ape Man? Here's the thing about this movie as well.
Ape Man.
No, Pool Man.
Oh.
People are saying it's
Isn't
not
it
good.
bad?
Well, people are saying it's not good. But
Yeah.
again, first of all, I think there were some walkouts at the Toronto Film Festival, and I've said,
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I think I've said this at the time when the trailer came out. I think some critics,
Yeah.
spend so much time saying things are really good because they get junkets and they get free stuff and they get what have you, that everybody is searching for a thing that they can.
And they can all hate
They
it.
can all hate
Safely.
like an easy thing to hate. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there are critics that say really good stuff about stuff that is obviously bad
Yes.
because they're getting stuff out of it. They're
Yeah.
getting connected. They're getting.
And
what
I
have
don't
you.
think it is like his $10,000. I think it is the thing that you said.
And I think,
Excuse my voice.
And I think people are always certain critics are always looking for something they can safely go.
Yeah.
Hey, this is pretty bad. And why not? You get a talented actor who's good looking and he's made a movie. He's
pretty good looking.
Oh, you got everything else, do you? Well, guess what? You made a bad movie. And here's the thing: maybe it is a bad movie.
Yeah, it could be.
But it seems to be a movie that he is really invested in, and he made it. He wrote it and he made it because he really liked. Just the concept. And I would rather see a movie that somebody made because they loved the idea of it, as opposed to like a.
His dad's the guy from Chips.
His dad is the guy.
Isn't
from
that
Chips.
enough?
One of the guys from Chips.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you see the thing how he auditioned for Ryan in the OC, but they said because the acne scars he couldn't?
No, I didn't
I'm
see
like,
that.
how is that even possible?
Yeah,
How
right.
fucking old is this guy?
He was in the Princess Diaries too.
That's true, he was.
Mm.
Wasn't he like, I like that though. I like that I made it and whatever.
Yeah.
Because he got $40,000 out of it.
Yeah, something
which
like
ended
that,
up being 15.
Yeah.
God bless him.
But
I liked his Dungeons and Dragons movie that nobody saw.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Yeah.
I think he should come down.
You're down to clown?
Yeah,
With Chris Pine?
With Chris Pine, yeah.
You think he'd come on the show?
We would make an exception. We're always knocking back Hollywood stars who want to be on this podcast.
I saw
but
some
for Chris Pine, we
people
make
in
an exception.
The Reddit were like, they interviewed Edgar Wright or whatever. Yeah, we did one time.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and
It's a lot
every
of
now
work.
and then we get one, and I more often than not, I just ignore it.
Some people are good at it and we're not.
Yeah.
So,
I know,
and you
but-
also have to keep going into different rooms.
Yeah, I don't want to
Remember
do that. It's like a whole fucking
They're like
day
going to this
doing
waiting
that.
room, and then they're like, a Weekly Planet. We're like, yes, and they're like, do you want to go into this other waiting room?
Yeah.
We're like, but we're just in a waiting room, and they're like, go in the second
in the
waiting
room.
Get in the room.
Oh, by the way, we're running 4 hours late.
Yeah,
Get
you've
in
got
the
4
room.
minutes with this guy.
Get in the
And
room.
we will come in at the 2-minute mark and shake our heads and tap a clipboard, so
Yeah.
you have to wrap it up.
That's right. I had an opportunity to interview, I think I've talked about this, Tarantino a few years ago.
What?
Yeah. And I'm
What?
like, I don't want to.
What?
I don't know. What would I say to him in 4 minutes? Like, hey, man, what's your favorite movie making split diopter?
yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I
I
just
mean,
don't-
4 minutes is not enough. For
I'm
him to
not good
explain
enough. I'm not practiced in that enough to make that anything.
That. Yeah.
Like, I feel like I just waste his time and mine.
yeah, I mean, I when
If it was like, come in and we just sit down and shoot the shit,
Yeah.
which would never happen, I'd consider it.
yeah.
But even then, a waste of time for
Yeah,
him.
I feel like when I'm watching various interviews with the red carpet stuff and the novelty
Yeah.
interviews and all that sort of stuff, I always think to myself, I couldn't ask a question I couldn't develop a camaraderie with this person in the couple of minutes we have,
Yeah.
and also ask a question that is incisive and interesting.
Because you're so abrasive.
Exactly, and I'm unpleasant. I'd open with, "Hey, idiot." And then I'd realize I've made a mistake, but then I'm like, there's no time to cut, so we'll just double
Cut,
down on
yeah.
it. I'd say, "Hey, stupid idiot." Why are you so stupid?
You ever consider making a good movie?
Yeah, that's right.
You dummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Anyway, okay, if I get to interview Tarantino again, you can do it. You can do that.
Okay. Hey, idiot.
Hey, idiot.
What's with the feet thing?
I think it was Hateful Eight.
Oh,
Sure
okay.
as well. No, I can't remember. Whatever. It's a while ago. Anyways, that's our review of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. What's the next segment of the show? What's it called?
Next segment is called "What We Read and What
What
We
we
Gotta
gotta
Read."
read. Let's do it.
Ah!